battle. They won the line of scrimmage. Ahmad Hardy went off. They kept it pretty simple on offense. They had more talent than Mississippi State on both sides of the ball. That was obvious. You didn't have to do anything special. You just had to do what you do as good as you can, and they did. They had stupid penalties again, which is unfortunate, which has been a mark of the team this year. And they won the game. They came out and
they dominated the game.
And for all intents and purposes, they came out healthy from what we know so far. And hopefully Brett Norfleet will be back and rocking and rolling even more healthy for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to use him that much. I just think that it was kind of, I don't want to say ho-hum after all these big games. It
felt pretty good to win a game like that.
Good. And I want to give credit to the crowd again.
It was loud
because I've been promoting fans all season long, because as Missouri's fan base, or excuse me, as the football team has strived to become elite, Missouri's fan base has also stepped up. Yeah. They really have. And tough loss after tough loss after tough loss. Last home game, night game, they showed up, and credit them for buying tickets. And keep in mind our perspective. Ticket prices have gone up for Missouri in years from what fans were used to paying. And there's a lot of options in the state of Missouri. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you, Alabama. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to some of the other SEC schools and some of the schools that had longer traditions and histories. But people have a lot of options in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And our big cities, are an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Columbia. And they're border towns as well, meaning the border towns have other interest in other schools as well. Mm-hmm. So I credit Missouri from that standpoint, the fan base. That got me excited. They did what they were supposed to do. And that's my sum up of the game Saturday.
Yeah, I think definitely did what you were supposed to do. The fan base was great. That was what I made sure to ask Drink about, and he gave a good response talking about how
I'm glad you asked him that.
He was happy with, proud of the kind of the program they're building, that fans still are turning up even after the tough few weeks. And he said it was pretty loud. I mean, that was the second loudest I've really heard the stadium, and that was behind the Kansas game.
Oh, wow.
That place was rocking in that first half. Yes, Mizzou took a pretty hefty lead. It got a lead. It got a little chilly. People started to leave a little bit, especially in that fourth quarter. It got pretty thin, but that's what you'd see anywhere. I want to ask you about, and we'll get into Ahmad Hardy, who is amazing, but I want to ask you about Matt Zallers. 8 for 15, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns, threw a pick, a really bad decision. First quarter, thought he looked good, threw that deep ball to Alugbade, found Josh Manning, went through his reads, found him. Manning did the rest, got in. What did you make of his performance when not a lot was asked of him, through for just 112 yards?
I'll start with the positive. I love how he stays in the pocket. Okay, he's not afraid for being a freshman. Those are some little things that may not register with people. He's not afraid, and I love how he sits there. That's the first thing. The second thing, when he has a receiver, when he locks in, he's got a rifle. He does, meaning he's got an arm, for people who don't know what I mean. It's fun to watch, and I love the ball, the way it comes out of his hand. He's not being asked to do much. I think the more that Kirby Moore gets to work with him, the better it becomes, obviously. They tried to dumb it down, make it as easy as possible. I think they knew they were going to run all over Mississippi State, and it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure that out, because when you looked up the other teams that had success against Mississippi State, it was running the damn rock over and over and over again. And that's Missouri's strength. So he didn't have to do a lot, and they still put up the amount of points that they did. I like him. If you have a healthy Bo Pribula, would Bo Pribula play? Yes, he would. Would a maybe injured, half injured Bo Pribula start again over him? In my humble opinion, yes.
Yeah.
But Zoller still has a long way to go. And I hope people understand that when you're a freshman, true freshman, coming into the SEC to take on SEC defenses where the coordinators are making $1 million to make your young quarterback's life miserable, it's not going to be easy. And I don't care how good you are.
Now, some chatter with Bo Pribula, if we're going to look ahead a little bit.
That's exactly what I was going with that.
Pribula was throwing on the field, no pads, just in the little warm-up jersey, some shorts, had cleats on, didn't have a brace anywhere, moving pretty, I'll say comfortably, like didn't look like he couldn't move, and he was doubtful on the injury report Thursday night. I'm surprised with how quick he came back. I think he might play versus Oklahoma. I really think there's a chance that Bo Pribula is Missouri's starting quarterback against the Sooners. And again, I think Matt Zollers will be a great talent. I think he'll be really good for Missouri if he ends up being at Mizzou for a few years. I don't think with Matt Zollers, though, your chances of beating a top 10 Oklahoma team on the road that just beat Alabama are very high. I think with Bo Pribula, they're still low. Oklahoma's a really good team, but you got a chance.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Can I ask you a follow-up?
Yes.
What is it from Bo Pribula that you think you're going to get that you saw before when he was playing that makes you think that he can do something positive against Oklahoma?
Well, one is mobility. Now that might be limited. Yes.
Okay.
But I still have more confidence.
So outside of mobility,
I have more confidence in Bo pushing the ball down the field and making smart decisions, especially because it seems like with Zollers that we saw there was kind of downfield or bust. This game, a little different. I have more confidence in being able to run more of a passing offense with Pribula. The strategy still should be pound the rock, pound the rock, pound the rock. But I have more. Pribula is just more tenured. I mean, it's no shot at Zollers. Pribula just has more experience, is a little bit older. He just has more games under his belt on the road already versus Vandy and at Auburn. I have more faith in him.
He's got his mobility.
Even without his mobility, I would rather I think they have a chance.
Did you see him trying to complete down the field passes and missing wide open guys to throw to several times in his previous game?
I did. I'm more mean in the intermediate, short to intermediate across the field category.
I don't know. Here's my point. I don't know who would be better. I really don't.
You just said you would rather Bo.
No. Meaning, if I had Bo healthy with his mobility. He doesn't have the mobility, man. There is no way.
Let's go 80% Bo without mobility. I still would rather Pribula. Because I think that would give
Missouri's not beating Oklahoma at Oklahoma.
Even with Bo?
No.
Okay, but here's my question. As a former player.
And you've already taken this kid Zollers out of his freshman year.
That's true. If you have Bo Pribula or your starting quarterback, would that not give you a jolt of, QB1's back?
After a month? And rusty, and if he legitimately had torn ligaments in his ankle foot, if those were legitimate, really, is he really going to be the Bo Pribula that can run?
The reason that I think if he's playing, yes, is because with that injury, it's one thing if it's like a groin injury or your shoulder, like you could maybe gut through it, but I don't think there's really any gutting through an ankle injury like this. Like, I think it's kind of one of those, either you're not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like there's like he's 75%, he's going to try to play and gut through it. Like, I don't think he'll play unless his ankle is 100%.
I don't think we see Bo Pribula. I think it's going to be Matt Zollers. I do. And maybe that's why my mind's kind of shutting it out. The other thing about that is, I don't know, you've taken a month off. And here's the other thing. You're not going to beat Oklahoma running the football with a running back and or a quarterback because they play gap defense tremendously. They don't get out of position, and we saw it against Alabama. The only way you beat Oklahoma, is you're going to have to throw the ball. And if it's short passes, whatever, they are going to load the freaking line. Yeah. They remind me a lot of Auburn in their run defense. And you're not going to beat them running the football. That's your best chance, but you're not going to beat this Oklahoma team running the football. My hopes are this. Your offensive line plays the best game they've played. Kirby Moore has some great misdirection plays. Maybe you have some short passes. Maybe Brett Norfleet is running wild. There's a mismatch there. Maybe Oklahoma's still asleep at 11 a.m. in the morning.
That's big that it's an 11 o'clock.
Those are the things that I find that I'm excited about. Do I think Missouri's defense will play well? Yeah, I do, because they've done it every game this year. Then you just got to hope that you don't commit the stupid penalties that you've made throughout the season.
And here's what I'll say. The over-under is
and I'm not being negative. I'm just...
No, you're being a realist. It's going to be they're number 8. They'll be right around there once the college football playoff rankings come out. The over-under is 42.5.
Yeah, I saw that.
And you have to ugly it up.
Is it still 9.5 or 8.5?
9.5. Okay. You have to make it ugly. Like Mizzou, the way Mizzou wins this game is kind of if it goes like Vandy or Auburn did, where if you score 20 points, you win the game. If you score 17, maybe you win the game.
Well,
like,
ball controlled offense.
Exactly.
If you can keep the chains moving.
And Oklahoma's losses this year, they lost at Texas 23-6. That was kind of John Mateer's first game back. He was probably rushed back, probably shouldn't have been playing. They lose the Red River rivalry. Then they lose at home against Ole Miss 34-26. So they get outscored. They beat Alabama 23-21. That kind of is close to the score it would have to be for Mizzou to win this game. 20-17, 20-14. The unfortunate part is this game is in Norman.
Yeah.
And Mizzou, I believe it's 1965 is the last time the Tigers have won in Norman.
I thought you were going to say, unfortunately, there's SEC refs reffing the game.
Oh.
That's right. You guys heard what I said.
And
why is it every week that I see these? I mean,
wait, no. Okay. I was going to say Josiah Trotter, thankfully, will be fine for this game because it was in the first half, right? He will not miss half the game.
But the problem is it should have never been called in the first place.
No, that was a bad targeting call, I thought.
And they reviewed it.
He was sliding into him.
And we see this week in, week out, and it's not, and I'm like, oh, you're just a Missouri homer, blah, blah, blah. BS. Look at the video. Look at each week something that's going on with Missouri. Either the SEC officiating is that bad for everybody, or there is a tendency to go against Missouri now, playing these teams, and the SEC desperately needs Oklahoma to win this game.
To be fair, though,
if Missouri wins, Oklahoma is knocked out of any SEC playoff contention. They are.
Yeah. If I'm going to play devil's advocate here about some of the calls, the Trotter one I thought was bad.
Yeah, but that was the most important call of the game.
But there was a lot of stupid penalties that Missouri was committing. Stephen Hall grabbing the guy's face mask.
Not complaining about that.
Like one of Zoller's intentional grounding was intentional grounding for sure. The other one probably wasn't. But
those aren't questionable calls.
Yeah. That there was a lot of calls. No, I'm saying, though, there was a lot of flags on Missouri where the crowd was booing and upset that were fouls on Missouri.
Yeah,
they were making
crowds do that.
I'm saying, though, is that Mizzou has to be more disciplined if they want to beat Oklahoma.
100%.
They were making so many dumb,
but I'm still scared.
Penalties.
But I'm still scared. Scared being relative.
The calls are going to go against them.
100%. You will see Missouri's D-line get held and not called many times more than what they would be getting called. That still takes me back to the Alabama game when, where are all the holding calls? Vandy. Where are all the holding calls?
How much differently would you...
Because Missouri's D-line is dominant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How much differently would you look back on this season if you go, Mizzou went 9-3, but all 3 rivalry games they played, they won. I would have taken that. If let's say there's a world where they beat Oklahoma and Arkansas, and they beat those 2 teams and Kansas and go 9-3, if you offered me that before the season, I would have taken it and ran.
As opposed to a better situation.
I don't know.
I would not have taken that.
Obviously,
because
10-2 was the goal. But I'm saying, if you would have told me before the year started that Mizzou went 9-3 and won all 3 of those games, I would have shook shit. I would have taken the handshake.
Yeah,
and I would have said, "Deal, let's do it."
I wouldn't have blamed you
because I think that's fine. Like I think that people will have such better, more fond memories of this season if they beat Oklahoma at Oklahoma.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Are you kidding me? It'll be yes. That would be crazy.
And on top of it, you beat Kansas. And then on top of it, you maybe beat Arkansas.
Yeah, because then you're 9-3.
Yeah, you can't lose. You can't beat Oklahoma and then lose to Arkansas. That would just
because under that scenario, you're 9-3 and you just beat a top 10 team at the end of the season, which really, again, number one, at that point in time would probably put you up to about 15 or 16 in the polls.
You're still not going to get in. But.
And then you would have a shot to finish with a 10-win season. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why that would be great. It's going to take Missouri's best effort to beat Oklahoma.
An A+ game.
Yeah, somebody's going to have an incredibly stellar game. And last game you had some really good things happen for Toriano Pride, your favorite, on defense. And
I got to shout him out.
And you had Ahmad Hardy play an incredible game on offense, and then that's why you win like you do. Will that happen in Norman? I don't know. I just don't know. I doubt it. But is it possible? Yeah, it is.
Toriano Pride, I've been hard on. Comes up with a big play on the kick return because at that point the game was in jeopardy still. It was 14-10 Mizzou. He scoops it all the way to 21, gets a not struggling, but your offense who has struggled in previous weeks in great field position to score a touchdown. Then he makes just a crazy deflecting interception, puts it in the end zone himself. That's called balling out on senior night. I'm really happy for Toriano Pride. And Marvin Burks Jr., another St. Louis kid, pick 6 touchdown on his senior night. So I thought that was 2 really, really cool stories that those guys will definitely remember forever. That was a big win because we said if they lost that game, we didn't think they'd win another game this season.
They wouldn't have.
Now we're talking about with some hope. Maybe you go play with Oklahoma now. Hopefully you go beat Arkansas. You go 8-4. You win a bowl game. It's not. There's a big difference between going 8-4 and 6-6.
Yeah,
huge. And I think if Mizzou would have won that game, they go 6-6.
Let's not assume they won a bowl game yet because they have.
We don't happen.
They have some good seniors on the defensive end or guys that would be eligible to go play in the that would make themselves eligible.
Yeah.
And for them to come and play another game,
I would be surprised. I don't think there will be
I
that
could see
many.
a lot. Oh, I could see 4.
Maybe who do you think would sit out?
McClellan.
I don't think his stock's high enough. I think McClellan's one of those guys. A good bowl game could propel him a little higher. I think there's one.
Who?
Well, you give me the rest.
Who?
I think Young would be the guy that could sit out.
Yeah, then you have Burks.
Yeah, I don't think he's sitting out though.
You don't
either.
think so?
I think for those guys that are
Pride,
no way. These guys aren't making the NFL. Why would they sit out?
I don't know. There may be a spot in the right defense. I do think.
But exactly. But normally you only see guys that sit out like first round picks though.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think guys on fringe.
Caden Green on offense.
Yeah, him and Young could be the 2.
Anyway, we got to win against Arkansas first, and then let's see what happens in the situation with Oklahoma.
With Oklahoma this weekend, Hardy has to play his second best game of the season. Like he's not going to rush for 300 yards. That just won't happen. But he has to play the second best game of the season.
Well, it just
because he's the guy that's going to have to break out.
I just beg one thing, and I won't be around long for the show today. I beg just a lot of play action, please. A lot of play action, even starting on. You come out of the game, play action, first play of the game, set the tone. Play action, short passes, intermediate passes. You don't, and I don't care who the quarterback is. Please, play action, play action, play action, misdirection. Be creative in the run game. You can run it every down, but be creative in your formations. Yeah. Just please, because I'm telling you, Oklahoma is good. They're going to be extremely aggressive. They over pursue, in my humble opinion. You have got to be smart about that in this football game.
I agree. You have to find a way to, and you gotta get off the field on third down.
Yeah,
if you get them into 3rd and longs, you gotta get off the field. Something Mizzou struggled with.
Can I say something too before I get out of here today?
Yeah.
Why do I feel uneasy about Eli Drinkwitz now?
You got about 5 minutes. You got to get out of here. Let's talk about it.
Why do I feel uneasy? I feel uneasy right now. I've told people before there's no way Eli Drinkwitz is leaving Mizzou. I've been told his family loves it. His wife loves it. His girls love it. He's built something here. While expectations are always the same here, they're maybe not the same at some of the places that he had been rumored to going to. Mm-hmm. But I haven't heard anything from him that definitively makes me feel like I'm all in this forever.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the agent telling him to be quiet. He knows all the talk that's going on, and he's kept quiet on purpose. So where is he? Is he happy? Is he happy with this? Is he happy with NIL and the amount of money that's coming into Missouri? Is he happy with the teams that he has coming back? There's something feels off to me about it. I'm not going to feel good until I hear him say he's coming back. Do I want Eli back? Yeah, you better believe I do, because I know how difficult it is to find a coach this year in this session.
And do you think that with the question marks, do you think Mizzou is trying to work out an extension with him?
Yeah, I do. And I hope that they are. And Laird Veach is a very smart football guy, as you've heard me talk about. I hope that's going on behind the scenes right now, mm-hmm. and they're just being quiet about it, which would be a change for a lot of people. Something seems weird. Just
you feel uneasy?
Yes, I do. Because I know that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And while Eli certainly has some questions to answer about his in-game coaching and getting to be the best that he can be as a coach, I love his recruiting. And recruiting, you got to have the horses first.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to see.
To make decisions in game, to be in close games, you got to have the guys.
Yeah.
And he gets the dudes.
He has been. He's proven nothing,
Mhm.
even when Missouri didn't have the status that they have now or the money. I just hope that we still have the money to go out and get the players that we've been able to go out and get the last 2 years.
I think they do. It's just a matter of, is it Eli Drinkwitz? And I think, too, that people will be really concerned about where Mizzou goes without Drink. But it's not like the people that are willing to throw money at Mizzou football now are just going to be gone.
No,
They
exactly.
still want football to be good, but it's just,
If a coach leaves,
how uneasy will things get?
and then it depends on where he goes. Then some of his staff goes with him. Some may
Players go
decide to
with him.
stay. Exactly. That's exactly where I was going. Then players and or recruiting. So anytime a coach leaves now in NIL at a big program, it sets you back. I mean, it does. It sets you back in a big way, and I know fans aren't thinking like that.
The thing is, if Drink leaves, Matt Zollers is most likely gone. Donovan Alugbade is most likely gone. Ahmad Hardy is probably gone. Jamal Roberts is probably gone. Bo Perbula is probably gone. Are there any other stars that could leave?
But it all depends on the amount of money that the new place would have and the players that they have there already.
I would be shocked, though, if Drink leaves. I would be shocked if Alugbade, Zollers, and maybe Hardy didn't go with
I
them.
still can't see him leaving. I just don't know why I'm uneasy about it all of a sudden. Something over the weekend made me start to wonder or feel like, what's going on with this?
Yeah.
I just, and that's coming from the guy that said there's no way he is leaving Columbia this year.
Vic, before you leave, can you give us a score prediction for Saturday, Oklahoma, Mizzou?
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to. I think it's a 21-13 Oklahoma win.
Okay, so Mizzou stays in it. They cover the spread. The Tigers do.
That would cover the current spread.
They
barely.
cover the spread. So get it in now.
And I hate saying that. That's just kind of how I see it going. I know how good their defense is. I don't know if we can score enough points. I look back to the Vanderbilt game when you did have Bo Perbula and how many points you scored. You scored 10 points against Vandy on the road. That was concerning.
Against a defense.
This one is a whole lot better.
Yeah,
it really is.
Brent
and I'm
Venables
not
has
overdoing it.
that thing rolling.
And the other thing about Brent Venables, when you watch this game regardless, his defensive play calling, he's brilliant. The man is brilliant at calling defense. So I give them a lot of credit. That doesn't mean I'm being Mr. Negative. It just means that I like Oklahoma's defense a whole lot. And I think Mateer's going to be better this week. Each week he's getting a little bit better. And that's concerning, but I still like our defense.
Yeah, I think Missouri would keep it close. Probably fall, though. He's Vic Faust. I'm Grant Salzman. This is Mizzou Central. Coming up next, Vic has to go, but Quentin Corpuel of the Columbia Missourian is going to join us, talk some more Mizzou football and the Missouri basketball team, which got a big win last week over Minnesota. This is the Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com.
Content on the Lou Information Station is brought to you by Grandpa Pigeons, Johnny Mac's Sporting Goods, and Becky's Carpet and Tile Superstore.
Hey, see that, kids? That's the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the west.
The Lou Information Station, where we'll always call it Highway 40 or Highway Party if you're a boomer.
The St. Louis expression?
Stream our content 24/7 at louinfo.com. The Lou Information Station.
This is Mizzou wide receiver Kevin Coleman Jr.
And I'm Mizzou linebacker Josiah Trotter.
When we hit the field, we have each other's back.
And off the field, we got James Carlton, State Farm covering us.
Thanks, fellas. Nothing beats college football season and nothing beats saving money. Just by getting a quote from our office and mentioning Mizzou, we'll make a donation to support Mizzou's will to win push on your behalf. No strings attached.
So you're supporting the team just by checking your rates. Doesn't get any easier than that.
It's so easy. Check them out online at carltoninsurance.net. MIZ.
ZOU.
Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill has a new menu.
But don't freak out.
Hot Shots favorites are still there, like their famous wings, tacos, burgers, and pizzas. Plus, sure to be new faves, like Big Philly egg rolls, the Bold and Hearty Slugger sandwich, the Buffalo Chicken Pizza, and 2 new wing sauces, Carolina Gold and Bourbon Glaze. And making a comeback, it's the return of Hot Shots' legendary waffle fries. So now there's even more to love at Hot Shots. Come try out the new menu at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. Find the location nearest you at hotshotsnet.com.
Louinfo.com news headlines. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. GetBC.com.
With your LouInfo.com news, I'm Jared Sorello. The city of St. Louis will reportedly name the next emergency management director. Former St. Louis firefighter Greg Favre has been selected to head the city's emergency management agency. Favre previously served as deputy director of the Missouri Department of Public Safety under Governor Eric Greitens. Action St. Louis continued efforts to help victims of the May tornado get back on their feet. The organization held a pop-up market on the O'Fallon Park YMCA grounds on Sunday for residents to get fresh food, groceries, and essential items. And a flight had to be diverted to St. Louis Sunday after a bomb threat. The United Airlines flight from DFW to Chicago O'Hare landed at Lambert International Airport, where St. Louis authorities performed a sweep of the cabin, luggage, and cargo hold before giving the all clear. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jared Sorello.
Now, louinfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports. Anytime, anywhere.
Here's your louinfo.com weather update. Clouds moving in and a few afternoon showers today. Afternoon high in the upper 50s. It will be a little bit windy. Some showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two drifting through for the overnight hours. We'll stay at about 50. Slight chance of a shower tomorrow afternoon. Mix of sun and clouds, and we're in the low 70s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Buddy.
What do you say, buddy?
Man, life comes at you fast. 1 minute you're cruising home, the next flashing lights in your rearview. And that's when you need backup. With the Legal Buddy app, you can connect to a local attorney in seconds. Seconds? Not waiting days for a callback? Nope, right away. DWI, car accident, criminal charge, traffic ticket, Legal Buddy's got your back. So it's like having a lawyer in your pocket. Exactly. Someone ready to step in the moment you need them, no matter the situation. That's peace of mind. That's Legal Buddy.
We're always going to be buddies, right?
All right, where do I get this? Just download the Legal Buddy app at LegalBuddyApp.com. Register and use code LEGAL for your chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card. Nice. Tickets, accidents, legal trouble, you're covered. The Legal Buddy app, always on your side. Download it today. Enter code LEGAL for your chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card.
Buddy, it don't get much better than this.
Yep.
When it's time to bring the energy, don't fake it. Fuel it. Drink Thunder is the all-natural, plant-based, fruit-based pre-workout drink that gives you real results without the junk. No sugar, no crash, just clean energy, powered by nature, and loaded with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to help you perform at your best. Go to drinkthunder.com and grab your favorite flavor, orange mango, blackberry lemonade, or strawberry cream. Drink Thunder, the clean way to power your workout. drinkthunder.com.
The season of Audi sales event is here at Audi Kirkwood, and you're not going to want to miss these deals. Now's your chance to shop our huge selection of the best Audi has to offer and get up to $5,000 off select new Audi models. Whether you're looking for something sleek and sporty or the perfect family SUV, we've got what you need and the savings you'll love at Audi Kirkwood during the season of Audi sales event. For up to $5,000 off select new Audi models, visit Audi Kirkwood on Manchester Road or shop online at AudiKirkwood.com.
Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill has a new menu. But don't freak out. Hot Shots favorites are still there, like their famous wings, tacos, burgers, and pizzas. Plus, sure to be new faves, like Big Philly egg rolls, the Bold and Hearty Slugger Sandwich, the Buffalo Chicken Pizza, and 2 new wing sauces, Carolina Gold and Bourbon Glaze. And making a comeback, it's the return of Hot Shots' legendary waffle fries. So now there's even more to love at Hot Shots. Come try out the new menu at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. Find the location nearest you at hotshotsnet.com.
When it's time to bring the energy, don't fake it. Fuel it. Drink Thunder is the all-natural, plant-based, fruit-based pre-workout drink that gives you real results without the junk. No sugar, no crash, just clean energy, powered by nature, and loaded with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to help you perform at your best. Go to drinkthunder.com and grab your favorite flavor, orange mango, blackberry lemonade, or strawberry cream. Drink Thunder, the clean way to power your workout. drinkthunder.com.
The season of Audi sales event is here at Audi Kirkwood, and you're not going to want to miss these deals. Now's your chance to shop our huge selection of the best Audi has to offer and get up to $5,000 off new Audi models. Whether you're looking for something sleek and sporty or the perfect family SUV, we've got what you need and the savings you'll love at Audi Kirkwood during the Season of Audi sales event. For up to $5,000 off select new Audi models, visit Audi Kirkwood on Manchester Road or shop online at AudiKirkwood.com.
Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill has a new menu. But don't freak out. Hot Shots favorites are still there, like their famous wings, tacos, burgers, and pizzas. Plus, sure to be new faves, like Big Philly egg rolls, the Bold and Hearty Slugger sandwich, the Buffalo chicken pizza, and 2 new wing sauces, Carolina Gold and Bourbon Glaze. And making a comeback, it's the return of Hot Shots' legendary waffle fries. So now there's even more to love at Hot Shots. Come try out the new menu at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. Find the location nearest you at hotshotsnet.com.
And we're back on the Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com. I'm Grant Salzman. Vic Faust had to get out of here just a little bit early, but no worries. Quentin Corpuella of the Columbia Missourian is joining us. And Quentin, how are we this morning?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling great. I appreciate you having me on, Grant.
Of course, always love when you get a chance to come on. What was your takeaway from that big win over Mississippi State for the Tigers? Because it felt like that was a game that if Missouri wins or loses, that they might not win another game all season. And I know, and Elijah Drinkwitz talked about this, is that we're kind of in a world of playoffs or bust. But there is still a big difference if Missouri goes 8-4 or pulls off an upset maybe and goes 9-3 between that and 6-6. So what was kind of your takeaway from the game and maybe overarching view for what it does for Mizzou as a program?
Well, it felt like Thanksgiving came early because everybody was eating, especially on both sides of the ball. You have Ahmad Hardy having the second best single game rushing performance in the history of Mizzou football. You have Matt Dollars, even though he only threw 15 or 16 passes, looking way more comfortable than he did against Texas A&M. The offensive line was fantastic. The front seven terrorized Mississippi State all game long. And the secondary, which has been the root of the defense's issues on numerous occasions this season, came away with not one, but 2 pick sixes. And so it was tough to poke holes in what Mizzou did on Saturday night. And now they've got a little bit of momentum heading into a big-time matchup in Norman against Oklahoma.
Yeah, and it has been, I believe, since 1965. Am I correct there? You're pretty good with history and numbers. Since the last time Missouri beat Oklahoma in Norman?
Yeah, it's either the 60s or 70s. I'll have to double-check, but it's been a while.
And what is, after seeing this Oklahoma team, seeing them beat Alabama, how does Missouri slow down this offense, which at times has looked really good? I think the Oklahoma offense looked a little just ho-hum against Alabama. They created a lot of turnovers. How do they slow John Mateer down?
Well, I'm not even worried so much about Mizzou's ability to defend Oklahoma, even though the Sooners do have some dangerous guys on offense. You just named John Mateer, the quarterback. I'm looking more so on how Mizzou's offense is going to stack up against an Oklahoma defense that's one of the best in the country. I had said a couple of weeks ago when A&M came to town that the Aggies were probably going to be the best defense Mizzou faces all season. I might have spoken too soon. Oklahoma has one of the best units in the country from top to bottom. They just forced 3 turnovers against an Alabama team that I think had only committed 1 turnover all season. At least Ty Simpson had only thrown 1 interception. I'll have to go and double check the fumbles, if any. But they forced, I believe, like 8 turnovers over their last 4 games. They are at the top of the country in tackles for loss, sacks. I think they're one of 3 teams in the country, according to PFF, with 4 defensive linemen at over 20 pressures, which is crazy. And one of them is Texas Tech, who also has one of the best defensive lines in the country.
Maybe
so
a
they're really
Heisman candidate at linebacker.
Seriously, yeah. Jacob Rodriguez has been awesome. And he's not even included in that 20-plus pressure discussion because he's at the second level. And so what Oklahoma does defensively is pretty incredible. Again, they did a really good job against Alabama on Saturday. So that's the unit I'm more keyed in on.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think Missouri can slow down the the Oklahoma offense and at least do enough. The defense will do enough to keep Missouri in this ball game. What is really two things? Does Bo Prabula play for one? And two, how can Missouri attack this Oklahoma defense?
Yeah, so we still have to wait for A, what Eli Drinkwitz is going to say at his weekly presser tomorrow, and B, what the initial SEC availability report says on Wednesday. We saw the report yesterday from CBS's Matt Zenitz that there seems to be optimism that Prabula can play on Saturday.
Yeah.
And whether it's Prabula or Zollers, they're just going to be thrown into a really tough situation. For Zollers, he's, again, still a true freshman. And Prabula hasn't played since the Vanderbilt game, which is a little while. And so it's going to be a tough ask for either quarterback, whichever one of them plays. I think in terms of attacking the Oklahoma defense, you got to stay as two-dimensional as possible. They have one of the best run defenses in the country this season. Mizzou's worst run games have come against the best run defenses that has played this season, namely Auburn. I think back to that Auburn game where Mizzou really struggled running the ball and had to create a lot over the air. And that's just a lot of pressure to put on the quarterback. And Oklahoma is at its best, like I said about Texas A&M a couple weeks ago, when they turn offenses one-dimensional, get them into third and longs. And so that's I think, a good place to start when you're thinking about how to attack OU.
Yeah, and I think, too, it's you got to ugly this game up. You know, the winner needs to be first to 20, maybe first to 17 if you're Mizzou. Can the defense get one turnover that sets their offense up in a red zone territory right away? And you kind of just got to play clock control if you're Missouri. Run the ball. Ahmad Hardy has to play probably his second best game of the season. If last week against Miss State is his best, this has to be the second best for Missouri to get a real chance in this one.
Yeah, I think so too, and I'm curious to see how much Jamal Roberts is going to be used on Saturday. Obviously, against Mississippi State, Mizzou is riding the hot hands, and I'd say it worked out pretty well. But Jamal Roberts had a couple of nice carries, and against A&M, he took a lion's share of the carries in that first half. And so I think Mizzou, whether it's Hardy, Roberts, or both, just needs to find as much as they can on the ground to avoid putting pressure on either Prabula or Zollers.
And you asked Coach Drink in the postgame press conference about how did Mizzou get Zollers into kind of comfortable passing situations early. And I can't remember his answer. It was a little non-committal, if I recall correctly. You know, they get the offside, so he throws it up to a Luke Bidet. There's a little really hitch route to Josh Manning that goes in for a touchdown after a nice run after catch. I think against Oklahoma, though, there needs to be more, I guess, scripted, easy, one target, let your guy run, throws for Zollers really to settle in. Screens, quick hits across the middle. Like, you got to get him comfortable in this first quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they did a way better job of getting him into a rhythm against Mississippi State than they did against Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I think about, like, when you watch a basketball player warm up, when you watch high-level shooters warm up, they often don't start by shooting three-pointers. They often start close to the basket, and they move back as they go along. And so by the time they start shooting threes, they're already in a rhythm, and that increases their chances of making those three-pointers. Zollers just didn't have that against Texas A&M. Against Mississippi State, you mentioned the hitch to Josh Manning. It was just a higher percentage throw, and Zollers needed more of those this time around, and he did. And to start that drive, he just threw a quick screen to Kevin Coleman that got like 10 or 11 yards. Great. Do that more. I'm a big proponent of just letting the guy complete 4 or 5 passes in a row. So by the time you start taking deep shots, he's already seen a few go in, per se. And I think that's just a much more sustainable way to live as a quarterback.
And it's easier to get the running game going as well when the defense knows that, even if the front seven knows all you're taking is deep shots when you throw, they have nothing to be worried about in the pass game. That's the secondary that's worried. If you're putting in their mind that these linebackers might have some coverage responsibilities from here and there, that makes it a little bit easier to run the football. Now, if Bo Prabula does play, how how much does the playbook expand, in your opinion, compared to what we've seen from Matt Zollers the last 2 weeks? I think there was a quote that the play calling doesn't change, but we know that there is less confidence, obviously, in Matt Zollers than there is Bo Pribula when you're calling plays.
I mean, I think it's just different because the quarterbacks are different. Bo Pribula is great with his legs, is great at hitting the stuff from 0 to 10 yards over, I guess, across the line of scrimmage, especially over the middle of the field between the numbers. And Matt Zollers has a better arm and can test defenses vertically a little bit better than Pribula. So I don't know if it's a matter of expanding the playbook or rather just changing it to fit the personnel.
Yeah. And with Zollers, I'm so curious about how his response will be now on the road. Like, he's faced in a defense like Oklahoma and A&M. And now what's that response when you have, I don't know what Oklahoma's capacity is, 80 to 90,000 screaming fans in your face, almost doubling the amount that he played against Vandy. I think that will really tell me in that first quarter how locked in he is or how prepared he is for this one.
Yeah, because Vanderbilt was a really unique situation. He hadn't played very much that season. That was his first quote-unquote real-time action that he had played because it was just garbage time. Before that, Vandy had clearly not prepared for him to be the quarterback. And that kind of effect wasn't just exclusive to the Mizzou-Vanderbilt game. You look across college football with two coordinators and play callers and quarterbacks entering during the middle of games, it definitely throws defenses for a loop on occasion. And so I think you had that working in the Vanderbilt game. You also had different game scripts, especially near the end. Zollers needed to pick up a lot of yards in a little amount of time towards the end, which is why a really high average depth of target. And so, yeah, I think if he does start on Saturday, we're going to get a full Matt Zollers experience, especially if the run game isn't going nearly like it was against Mississippi State, where it requires Zollers to produce more often than he did against the Bulldogs.
And I'll be curious how close to the chest Eli Drinkowitz keeps this, because I think the best thing to do would be a list. And come on, we all know these availability reports aren't quite accurate. I think it would be great to list Pribula as questionable on the depth chart, even if you know he's not playing or even if you're confident he's playing. Make Oklahoma spend a little extra time on both QBs than they normally would. I think will greatly benefit Missouri, and I would assume that's what Drink in Missouri how they'll play it.
Yeah, I don't know better than you, but I think if you're Oklahoma, they're probably going to prepare for both.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to transition over a little bit to basketball. Missouri 4-0 to start the season. Big win over Minnesota. They have a game tonight against Prairie View A&M. How have you felt about the Tigers? Because we saw that Minnesota team go to the wire against Green Bay and almost lose to them this Saturday. I still think that was a big win to perform that well, move you up in all the analytical ratings, and just kind of a nice bounce back after that SEMO game.
Yeah, the Minnesota game kind of reminded me of the Cal game of last year, where it's close going into halftime, and then Mizzou blitzes the opponent in the second half, is unbelievably efficient shooting from the field, converts a lot of two-pointers. I think they're one of the best teams in the country right now in terms of two-point efficiency, which is really good.
Yeah.
And I think we expected that, considering how big and tall and long they are inside, and then getting another year of Mark Mitchell. It's been funny seeing a lot of the half-court possessions be, all right, Mark Mitchell, do something. And oftentimes it's worked. It's worked really well. And so they've been efficient from two. They clearly have, even though they lose somebody like Caleb Grill, whose singular impact I don't think you can replicate. They still have very capable shooters on the outside. I think Jaden Stone's been really fun to watch. Luke Northweather has stretched the floor really well. And Anthony Robinson has clearly taken a leap from the three-point line in terms of comfortability and just looking at a shot. The eye test has been really, really positive so far.
Yeah, and here's something I've kind of noticed, and I wonder if you agree, is the first 3 years, this is year 4 under Dennis Gates, year 1 and 3 tournament teams, year 2 obviously didn't win an SEC game. Those tournament teams from last year and in 2022, they were one of those teams that you thought, okay, they can beat anyone in the country, but they can also lose to anyone in the country if their shot is not going in. They were so reliant on the 3-ball. You think of how much they struggled shooting against Drake in the NCAA tournament last year. That knocked them out. This team feels a little bit more consistent than what we've seen. And I know it's only 4 games in, but you mentioned the 2-point field goals made. It feels more consistent, like they will consistently score even if the 3-ball's not going in.
Yeah, and that's just a more sustainable way to live as an offense. Like, they have 7 players listed at 6'9" or taller, which is a lot. Like, that is a lot. Like, I think the national average is somewhere around 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of that size is not played in Trent Pierce and Trent Burns, who remain sidelined for now. And Sean Phillips missed a game just for rest. But even so, like, they are getting a lot more from inside of the arc, and they are not as heavily reliant on the 3-ball, which is, as you said, what bit them against Drake last season. That bit him against Texas in that clunky road loss in Austin.
Yeah.
Have more places to turn inside, which I think is going to be really beneficial this season.
So I'm going to skip over the gimme games, which Mizzou has 7 of remaining, 6 of remaining, which I would classify as bye games. I hope it doesn't come back to bite me. That they beat all the teams they're supposed to beat. But your 3 big games to end the non-con are at Notre Dame, followed up right away by Kansas and Kansas City, and then in St. Louis against Illinois. What would you say is a productive non-con for Mizzou between those 3 games, meaning that maybe they improve their resume a little bit more and they definitely don't hurt themselves? Not hurting themselves, obviously, would be to win all the bye games. But between those 3, what do you think a good record for Missouri would be?
I think going 2-3 would be awesome. Whether it's beating Kansas,
2-4-3, you mean, like 2-1?
Oh yes, yeah.
No,
yeah. Going at least 2-1 would be awesome. That's going to look really good come Election Sunday if you're able to knock off either Kansas or Illinois. I don't think losing to Notre Dame would necessarily be a bad thing, especially because it's on the road. And Notre Dame looks a little better than they have in recent seasons. Kansas and Illinois both look really good. I watched a lot of that Illinois-Texas Tech game. Knocking off the Red Raiders and I think a National Player of the Year candidate, J.T. Toppin, who was awesome. And so I think getting 2 out of the 3 would be amazing. I think beating Notre Dame and playing Kansas and Illinois close would be perfectly okay, too.
Yeah, I think you got to beat Notre Dame, and I think it'd be really nice to beat one of Illinois or Kansas. All right, I'm going to ask you to do something that is hard for you to do from knowing you. It's hard. I'm going to ask you to take off your reporter hat for just a minute. 60 seconds is all I need. You are a Mizzou student. You are a senior at the University of Missouri. As a Mizzou student, pick one. Would you rather beat Kansas in Kansas City or Illinois in St. Louis? You only get one, though. You lose the other.
You want me to start talking about William Quantrill or something? We're going down. I think I'd rather beat Kansas in Kansas City because that's a really good team. That's an arch rival. And it's at a neutral site, which is not at home, and that's really good for the metrics.
Yeah.
So I think I would rather beat Kansas, especially because Darren Peterson's probably going to have some incredible games. I think if Mizzou is able to stop him or at least contain him, I think that's going to look really good come Selection Sunday.
Yeah, and I think too a big thing is we're not quite sure when the Kansas-Mizzou game will be played again. This is the last year of the contract. We know Missouri and Illinois will be played again in 2026 and beyond. So that one gives you a little more hope to get back at the Illini. If you lose this game against the Jayhawks, who knows when you get another shot?
Yeah, that's certainly true. I'm really curious to see once we go to Kansas City, because I'd say that's a fairly split between Mizzou and Kansas folks. And so I'd like to think it's going to look like the Mizzou-Illinois games, where one half is black and gold and the other half is the other team's colors.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Okay, that's all. You can put your hat back on. You're a reporter again, Quentin Gorpuel of the Columbia Missouri. And thank you, as always, for coming on. Appreciate your time. We'll have to talk again soon.
Yeah, thanks again, Grant. Have a good day.
Of course, Quentin. Quentin, if you want to find his stuff, go to the Columbia Missouri, and great articles and writing about the Missouri football team. We'll be back in action with articles all week and leading up to the Oklahoma game. You can see him on X at Quentin Corpuel. Well, that's all the time we have today on the Lou Information Station. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Up next, it's Charlie Tuna and the Posse.
Joined now by the boss, Dave Green. Dave, we're building something pretty special.